Tonight, through the use of the sports machine, it's the wildest and wackiest road race in America. There's a charmed horse that is closing in on the first Triple Crown in 19 years. The most decorated American athlete in Olympic history reflects on his illustrious career. I'm George Michael. He's back. The roar of the tiger is loud. Tonight on the Sports Machine. Well, as you know, Patrick Ewing promised that this would be the championship year for the Knicks. Patrick Ewing and the Knicks could not fulfill that promise, and they say in part the NBA has to be held in part responsible. Whether or not the NBA is to blame, the fact is this: I don't think that the New York Knicks ever recovered from that brawl in Game 5. And today, the Knicks postseason comes to an abrupt end. They fall to the Heat 101-90. Do you realize the Heat cap a remarkable comeback, becoming only the sixth team in NBA history to rally from a 3-1 deficit? Let's start by taking it down to Miami. A couple of the plays that you may not have noticed, like the shoe of Chris Childs, who put John Starks and Larry Johnson among others because they were suspended for today's Game 7. It really all went on the shoulders of Patrick Ewing, who did all he could. Patrick Ewing with 37 points. He erased the 19-point deficit. He got it down to 7 points, but in the second half, the Knicks just made so many mistakes. Man, inbound pass to Allen Houston. You can't turn that ball over, Allen. I'm sorry, my man. You cannot make those mistakes with the game on the line. Alonzo, of course, is loving it. And then Tim Hardaway. You can't guard a man closer than Chris Childs is on him. But from way out in Rainbow Land. Oh, what a shot by Tim Hardaway. 38 points. Jeff Van Gundy knew it was over. Patrick Ewing sees his team fall to the Heat, and it does hurt.
I felt that if I lost on the court, you know, I thought that what the NBA did wasn't wrong. Like I said, I felt that they robbed me. They robbed me of a great opportunity.
I thought Miami played very well today, and we got our asses whipped today, and that's the bottom line.
I know they're very disappointed because they were dealt a heavy blow, but you know, sometimes bizarre things happen in the playoffs.
And bizarre was that series. Coming up, he suffered a horrendous crash last year at the Indy 500. Now Alessandro Zampedri is back on the track. And here's tonight's Nicoderm trivia question. Name the only major leaguer to drive in at least 75 runs 20 straight years. Well, the Montreal's Mike Lansing says that he's been taking a lot of extra batting practice, and today he saw the results. Lansing with a career-high 5 hits. He drives in 3 runs. The Expos beat the Dodgers 7-4. Let me take you up to Montreal. It was love, Canadian style. A proposal is accepted in Montreal with the help of their Expos mascot, Yuppie. Congratulations to the happy couple. In the bottom of the first inning, the Dodgers lead 1-0. Pedro Estacio working to Mike Lansing. A base hit into left field. Mark Brzleniak trying to score. Here comes the throw to the plate. He is safe at home. Safe at home, tying the game at 1-1. Then in the bottom of the fifth, the Expos lead 3-2. Expos on first and second. David Segui through the legs of Karros into right field. Mike Lansing trying to score. You don't test the arm of Raul Mondesi. What do you call him, umpire? What'd you call him? Safe or out? He is out at home. Out at home. I know you're going to argue. Ed Rapuano says you're out, now get out of here. The Expos, despite not getting that run, beat the Dodgers 7-4. Well, the Twins, for some reason, have not been able to win a game on Sunday. Not once all year. They break out of that slump. The Twins down the Red Sox 7-5. It's the Twins' first win on a Sunday in 7 tries this year. In the bottom of the second, the Twins are trailing the Red Sox 2-1. Greg Myers, fly ball, routine play to center field. But Darren Bragg saying, where is it? Where's the bleeping ball? It's behind you, Darren, all the way behind you. Out to the wall. Matt Lawton will come in to score. It ties the game at 2-2. Myers ends up at third with a triple. Don't you love to catch a fly ball in the Metrodome? In the top of the sixth, the Red Sox, Mike Stanley, will send a fly ball to deep center field. Darren Jackson going back to the baggie. He leaps and makes a spectacular home run robbing catch. The Twins win for the first time on a Sunday, beating the Red Sox 7-5. We're in Seattle. Top of the ninth inning, 2 outs. The Mariners lead 7-6. Rafael Palmeiro of the Orioles, a base hit into center field. 1 run scores, that's the tying run. Here's Cal Ripken with the winner, and he is safe at home. The Orioles come from behind to edge the Seattle Mariners, 8-7 in Seattle. Wayne Gretzky says he was just lucky. But as you know with Wayne Gretzky, there's a lot more to it than just luck. Today, Gretzky gets his second hat trick of these playoffs. The Rangers edge the Flyers 5-4, so their Stanley Cup semifinals are even at a game apiece. We're in Philadelphia, first period, Rangers in blue. That's Wayne Gretzky behind the net. He controls the puck. His shot hits the Flyers' Carl Dykhouse, and it goes right in. The Rangers take a 3-1 lead over the Flyers. You might call that one lucky, but not this one. This is Wayne Gretzky. He works his way through traffic, fires a blistering slap shot low to the ice, off the glove hand of Garth Snow. That would prove to be the one that the Rangers go up and stay up on as they edge the Flyers 5-4. It may be the most bizarre, crazy, unpredictable race there is. It's the annual Beta Breakers 12-kilometer road race. Let me take you to San Francisco.
Yeah, George Michael, I'm gonna win this race. I think I've been training for about 6 months now, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong.
One of my close personal friends in the Beta Breakers. Some 75,000 people early this morning in San Francisco start the 86th annual Beta Breakers race. Some people take it seriously, others go for the fun of it. This was supposed to be Dennis Rodman. I don't think Dennis is going to claim any relationship. The Samba Girls. And there was a Samba Girl wannabe.
Hi, George.
I don't know you, sir. Never met you in my life. The winner of the serious race, Joseph Kamani of Kenya, in a time of 33 minutes and 51 seconds. And there are others who are still paddling their way to the finish line. Or, well, I mean, you get the idea. There is no race like the Beta Breakers. Here's the answer to tonight's Nicoderm trivia question. Name the only major leaguer to drive in at least 75 runs for 20 consecutive years. Yes, it's Eddie Murray. 20 years in a row, 75 or more. All right, hold it. For all of you that are complaining about me calling the Expos mascot Yuppie, I ain't calling Yuppie. Yuppie is a Yuppie, so I'm right, okay? His real name is Yuppie. I call him Yuppie. Hold your calls. Congratulations to Chris Johnson. She won her first major, the LPGA championship, and boy, was the Tiger on the prowl from beginning to end of the Byron Nelson Classic. Of course, we're down in Irving, Texas, where Tiger Woods, who led by 2 strokes after 3 rounds, maintained that lead today. He had taken a month off since the Masters. He tied the course record at 17 under par. His 3rd victory of the year. Tiger Woods has won over $1.29 million this year, and we're only in the month of May. Meanwhile, in Wilmington, Delaware, it's the LPGA Championship. This is Sherry Steinauer. Watch this break, folks. It's from right to left. When you say, did you read the hole well? Boy, she read this thing perfectly. Sherry would finish 3 shots behind the winners. Oh, about the winner. This is 24-year-old Lita Lindley. She has a 4-foot putt, and she wins the LPGA Championship. And she misses it. And that would leave it up to Chris Johnson on a playoff. On the second hole of the playoff, Chris Johnson wins her first major championship by sinking that putt. Congratulations. High school senior Kristen Powell of Portland, Oregon, didn't attend her senior prom. You say, what does that have to do with sports? Well, because she was racing, as in drag racing, at the NHRA Mopar Parts Nationals, where she posted her first career Top Fuel victory. Let me take you to Englishtown, New Jersey. This is a true story. We start in the Top Fuel division. 18-year-old Kristen Powell, high school senior, on the left versus Bruce Sarver on the right. Kristen Powell, a high school senior, wins the Top Fuel championship in Englishtown, New Jersey. Move on to other action. This is also in the Top Fuel. Shelly Anderson is on the right versus Bob Vandergrift. She blows her engine. What a flame out, but maintains control. I will never know how she didn't put this Western Auto Parts rail into the wall. Congratulations, Shelley, on spectacular driving to avoid a major mishap. In the Pro Stock division, in the yellow car on the right, that's Troy Coughlin. Troy Coughlin going down the strip at 192 miles an hour. He loses control. Now he's got to try to regain control. He overcorrects. Up and over he goes, losing it at 182 miles per hour in the wild Mopar Nationals at Englishtown, New Jersey. We're in Indianapolis. This is Scott Harrington. He's the last driver on the track at Indianapolis today, trying to qualify for the Indy 500. He's at 214 miles an hour. Fast enough. He would have qualified, but he hits the wall in turn 2. He loses it, although no serious injury. He was taken to the hospital for observation and does not make the field of the Indy 500. And you know, talking about the Indy 500, it takes place next Sunday. It'll feature some 35 drivers, the largest lineup since 1979. Included in the field will be Alessandro Sampedri, who crashed his car on the final lap of last year's race. And many people said he'll never race again. Let me take you trackside, Indianapolis. It's the 1996 Indy 500. It had one of the worst finishes in history. Turn 4 of the final lap. Roberto Guerrero goes sideways. He hits Alessandro Zampedri's Team Scandia car. It goes into the wall. Zampedri broke both legs. His feet were crushed. He nearly lost his left foot. He still finished 4th in the Indy 500. There was fear his career might be over through no fault of his own.
The accident happened and it wasn't my fault. It was completely Roberto Guerrero's fault, and he spun in the middle of turn 4 when he was 1 lap down, and it didn't make any sense. He wasn't racing with anybody, and so that was really the toughest part for me to take, because if you do a mistake on your own, you know, that's you, and that's, you know, you can't blame anybody. But that was the toughest part, I would say.
Zampedri underwent 7 operations of reconstructive surgery. His left foot was saved by doctors at Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis. He underwent daily therapy. This month, he returned to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Some say he has the potential to be the Michael Jordan of auto racing, but he's much too young to retire.
The toughest part to take was that within myself, I felt like I still have a lot to do in this sport and a lot to give, you know. I mean, I don't want to put myself in the same position as Michael Jordan is, you know, but can you imagine what we were missing if Michael Jordan wouldn't been back, you know? I mean, how well is still playing, you know, how important he is for the game, and he decided to retire, you know, a few years ago. So, I mean, I'm not even close to what Michael Jordan is and has been, but, you know, within yourself, you always feel that you can do more, and you want to do more, you want to accomplish more. That would have been the toughest part for me to take if I couldn't be here today.
This weekend, Alessandro Zampedri qualified 31st for the Indy 500. Next Sunday's race will be his first race back since last year's disastrous accident. 1 year ago, his career was nearly ended. Next Sunday, the man some said would never race again, Alessandro Zampedri, will be driving for racing's ultimate prize. Move to a different kind of racing. Can he win the Triple Crown? Let me take you back to yesterday's Preakness for what had to be one of the most thrilling finishes ever. The 122nd running of the Preakness Stakes, the closest in the history of the race. Folks, from the moment they headed down to that stretch, you knew it was going to be great. The number 6 horse Silver Charm on the outside battling Freehouse like the Kentucky Derby. Silver Charm would prevail. Silver Charm would prevail by a nose in a photo finish. Trainer Bob Baffert is now on the verge of going for the Triple Crown. Man, a couple of years ago, he never thought he'd realize this action.
Believe me, when my parents sent me to the University of Arizona, they did not have this in mind. So I was supposed to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, you know, and here I am training thoroughbreds, but I wouldn't trade anybody for the world.
It's been a dream of mine to win a Triple Crown, and the sport could use it, and I'd love to see thoroughbred horse racing back on the cover of Sports Illustrated and Time Magazine. It's been a long time since that's happened, and it can happen again with this horse.
Bob Baffert hoping to jump for joy one more time at the Belmont Stakes as he tries to go for the Triple Crown. Our Prime Star Play of the Week features a high school softball player who went all out. We're in Peoria, Illinois. Now, this is Morton High School in red against Peoria Notre Dame. Fly ball to deep center. Peoria center fielder Diana Corey goes back and over the fence. Lands face first. She suffers a bloody nose, hitting the ground. Diana Corey of Peoria, Illinois, you get our Prime Star Play of the Week. Yo, Diana, I want you to take a look at the machine and then smile, man, because that's the best. Coming up, a man who finishes race of Olympic glory. Welcome back to the Sports Machine. He's been on 5 Olympic teams, and next month an era will come to an end when track and field star Carl Lewis makes his final appearance. For his amazing career, let me take you to the track. His career has spanned 5 Olympiads. 36-year-old Carl Lewis. He has won a total of 10 Olympic medals. He is the most decorated American athlete in Olympic history. He has set 10 world records. He recorded 65 consecutive long jump victories over a 10-year period. He has not always been America's most popular athlete. But during his time, track and field has moved to page 1. Carl Lewis has done it his way. It's 1984. The USA is hosting the Olympic Games in Los Angeles. 23-year-old Carl Lewis matches the record of the great Jesse Owens by winning 4 gold medals. Back then, Carl Lewis was doing it purely for the love of the sport.
When I started off, I was a kid, 17, 18 years old, made the first Olympic team at 18. And I love to run. I mean, that was the basis of it. At that time and still throughout, I didn't think about I should go to this sport because they pay more money. It was something I enjoyed to do. But once I was committed to this sport, I felt that we should at least acquire a better share of what's going on.
For all of his success in track and field, Carl Lewis could never translate that success into financial reward. He even tried this movie, Dirty Laundry, in 1987. And for a while, Carl Lewis pursued a singing career, but only for a brief while.
And the Rockets, red flag.
His relationship with the American press was often tumultuous.
Turn that off. Turn it off. Then we'll shoot later on. No.
The press was not in love with Carl Lewis. But overseas, it was a different story, especially in Japan. Carl Lewis was the man. He was mobbed everywhere he went. Endorsement deals were easy to find overseas. The endorsement world, which did not turn on to him in America, was at his beck and call, especially in Japan.
Beat. Ween. Oh. The main thing is that my image is important to the people that really know me. I found a long time ago you can't control your image per se. You can just be who you think is the right person, do the things you think are right. If you make mistakes, which everyone does, own up to those mistakes, squash them, leave them behind, and move on. And then people can judge you every way they want.
It's the 1988 Games in Seoul, South Korea. A defining moment in the career of Carl Lewis. In the 100 meters, Lewis is going for his 5th Olympic gold medal, but he is beaten by Ben Johnson, who sets a new world record. Lewis took the silver medal, but then came the news. Johnson had tested positive for steroids. He was disqualified. Carl Lewis blasted those who would use performance-enhancing drugs in the Olympics.
I mean, you're going to have roadblocks. I've had roadblocks every year, even times when things seem perfect and great, you have roadblocks. You just have to continue to fight on. I understand that there's a small percentage of the people that would take the stands, and many of them that I've had to take. Most athletes in the sport will not take them because I've asked people to come aboard and they haven't done it, you know. But that's fine. I have no problem with that. You have to understand if you're going to try to create change and elicit change, you're going to have to take a stand and accept the criticism.
It's 4 years later, 1992 Barcelona. 31-year-old Carl Lewis is back in the Olympics. he will have to battle world record holder Mike Powell for the long jump gold medal. Carl Lewis would beat Powell and win his third straight Olympic long jump gold medal. It's the Atlanta Games in the summer of '96. 35-year-old Carl Lewis is looking for a Hollywood ending, but very few people figure he would be there to win a medal. It's the long jump finals. Once again, Carl Lewis will battle his rival Mike Powell. 12 years earlier, he was the favorite. Now, no one gave Lewis a chance. But on this night in Atlanta, the old man would jump as he had at the age of 23 in LA. Carl Lewis was 27 feet 10 3/4 inches. Mike Powell would have one last chance to win. Mike Powell, the world record holder, needed a spectacular jump. But Powell severely pulled a groin muscle. His dream fell apart in the sand. For Carl Lewis, his last hurrah was his greatest moment.
It was an incredible feeling. I mean, the culmination of an entire career, but this one year where I worked hard and hoped that I could be at this point, and was. And then when I left the podium, I no longer had the desire to compete at that level again. So it took that one last push for me to be there. Absolutely, I'll be satisfied because I've won 9 gold medals and I've won in every Olympic competition. I mean, I've been in 10 Olympic events and I went 9 golds and a silver. And it was just an incredible run, and I felt there's nothing else for me to prove to myself, to anyone else, and I'm just happy that I can go away with a gold medal.
Carl Lewis has traveled a sometimes bumpy golden road. He has been called the greatest athlete ever. He is now one of the most loved. Truly, a champion like no other. I'm George Michael. That's our sports machine for tonight. Thanks for being with us. See you next Sunday. Have a good week, everybody.